My general area of interest is how the Fourth Amendment applies to new technologies, new surveillance technologies, and there's a very exciting time to be part of that because the Supreme Court has come down with a lot of new cases. They had a case about searching cell phones pursuant to an arrest. They've had a case of putting a GPS on automobiles, and right now scholars and litigators and judges are all trying to work out what the court meant when they said all these things and try and sort of hone down exactly what the new rules are going to be. So I'm going to be spending probably a lot of time next couple of years trying to figure out exactly what the Supreme Court meant and maybe giving suggestions about what courts should do in the future on those issues. I would have to say it's actually my grandfather. He was a lawyer and then he was a judge, and I remember when I was very young, maybe 7 or 8 years old, I would go visit his house in Connecticut, and he had books downstairs, legal books like this, with all the law reporters there. And so I would sort of pull one down and start reading it, not really understanding what was going on. And I remember very vividly sort of talking to him about these cases, understanding almost nothing about how the law worked. And he would sit me down, he had the patience for this, even though I was a little kid, the patience to explain how the case actually worked and why they decided the way they decided. And I remember one discussion we had about the exclusionary rule, which says that you can't admit evidence if the police got it illegally. The evidence has to be excluded. And I had this argument with him, but the person's still guilty. Why can't we still convict him and do something? He explained to me in depth why that mattered, and his patience, his ability to explain the law to me, and his sort of pure love of what the law could do when it's used effectively was pretty inspiring. I'm pretty sure that's why I ended up in law school, is because I admired what he did and the work that he did. I would tell first-year law students, above all, remember why you're here at the law school, why you want to be a lawyer. The first year of law school is tough. It can be fun, it is fun, but there's a lot of work to do. And I think if you lose sight of why you're here in the first place, it's a lot harder. And so I would always tell my law students, make sure you remember why you're here, remember what the goal is of why you're in law school. You're about to join a very noble profession with a long history of serving society and of doing a lot of good in a lot of different ways. And that's something that you should sort of keep track of in your head, even though things are sometimes going to get tough.